Hey guys, it's Matt. It is Wednesday, December 9th. Getting to my November recap a little late. It's honestly just not been super high on my priority list, mostly because I don't, like I've said before in previous videos, these videos were really for me, even though I'm putting them up on YouTube, it just helps for me to go over some things again. But it just hasn't it felt like it wasn't really that helpful. But I want to go over just November in general, since the month ended there, and it ended up being a pretty good month. I'll show you my. This is the end here of my prop report. So you can see that net I was up. Actually, so gross I was up 273. After commissions and fees, I was up 198.26. And then they took the 125 out for platform fees and data and all that, and I ended up $73 for the month, which is not a lot, but it's better than being down for sure. And so what I want to look at is just for the month of November. Here's my P&L curve. Rocky start there over the first week and a half or so, and then got some profit there at the end. So that looks good. And these stats look pretty good. I mean, you're looking at a 1-to-1 ratio here of wins to losses with a 73% win rate. I mean, that is what profitable looks like, right? At least in one way, right? This can look very different depending on your style, but for me, yeah, that's fine. I mean, I'd like 2-to-1 here, winner to loser, and this win rate, but we'll take this. 10 cents per share. Gaining on average day. I mean, it's there's not a whole lot to say other than that looks good. It was a good month. Which and then if we look back over the past couple months, can like go back to the beginning of September. Go back to here. I think we can do 90 days. I took that big loss in October on whatever that was. Was it PPSI or something like that? Forget what ticker it was. It's this day, the 6th, I guess. But other than that, I mean, look, since the beginning of September, it's still a pretty good curve. I mean, I could do without some of these days where I give back, especially the big ones. But again, it's up and to the right, right? And so gross, I'm up over $1,000, which is nice. Obviously, my guess is it doesn't look like that if I look at the net amount. In fact, let's, for giggles, I'll do this in my prop report here and pull it back up. I have not looked at this before the video, so this will be fun. So yeah, gross, same as the trader view showed, and then net is 694, and then fees of 522, and then I'm netting 172.40 after all that. So this being the gross, this being the net after, what is that, 3 months, September, October, November, right? So anybody who's looking at CMEG, and this probably is an unfair, I'm picking on CMEG here, but any account where you're going to get charged fees and commissions and stuff, that's what your gross looks like. This is what your net looks like over 3 months. Now, part of this is like these fees here. Let's see, 125, 253, 375 of that is just platform fees, so 125 bucks a month, right? And then the rest of it is probably when I took some shorts and had to pay the borrow fees at CMEG, which are ridiculous. But anyway, so that's what that looks like. So, but pretty happy with this, and we can look at what this looks like overall. Again, about a 1-to-1 here. Pretty tight, actually. It's kind of funny. 1-to-1 win to loss, and then 1-to-1 average winner to average loser, and then 65% win rate. And again, still that's profitability, right? So it looks good. I'm pretty impressed. I really just at this point, and I've said this in previous videos, I'm just having a hard time doing it, but I need to size up. That's really where I'm at. Um, and keeping in mind that the P&L curve looks like this when I'm mostly short biased. Um, oh, that's because this always resets to 30 days. I'm mostly short biased, and I'm only trading what ends up being, for the most part, I'm only trading what ends up being easy to borrow at CMEG, because their locates are, they, if you don't know, they charge a $25 flat fee every time you locate shares. So I can't, that's with the amount, with the size that I'm trading right now, that is not something that I can, that's not a fee that I can eat and still remain anywhere near profitable. I'm basically, you can see I'm basically breaking even at this point. So that is a drawback. If you're short biased, CMEG is pretty rough, unless unless you're trading with large enough size. Again, my position sizes are in the 50 share to 400 share range, um, and so again, it's time to size up. It's just a struggle for me because the loss is bigger. The risk is bigger, and it's as much as it's fun money, sort of at this point. It's still I still don't want to lose. I don't want to lose money. So I'll go through the last couple of trades of the month here. It was just the last week that I hadn't covered yet. I don't really remember these much, but you can see rail here. I took a quick short. It kind of went sideways, and I just bailed out for a small profit, just a couple of cents there. This one I actually didn't take a trade. I did look this one up right before the video. I had this pre-market. This was a pre-market pivot here at 13.7. And I literally sat here and watched this thing pop that pivot and didn't take a position, which that's an error. That's a rule break right there, because that's a trade that I take. That's a setup. Like pre-market pivot, this thing starts lower, drives up in, short bias on this. The one thing was is that I think this was an acquisition company, one of the SPACs or whatever, and it's a little higher float, and either higher float and or higher institutional ownership. I forget at this point, but so I'm a little less eager to short those, but still, when you get a setup like this, you just take it. And I didn't, and then I was like, well, I hope it gives me another chance. I remember reading my journal, and then it did right here, and I think I missed a fill here. And then I do this thing where, like, if I don't get filled right at, let's say this was, I don't know, 13, did it hit 60? 13, let's say it was 13.58. I wanted to get filled and I don't get filled. Even if I get a chance at like 54 or 55, I don't take it, which is silly, right? Because, I mean, it's like a couple cents and I'm missing out on a 50-cent move because of 4 cents or whatever. But it's just a mental hang-up that I have that I'm working on. This is the real game in trading, right? Is the mental aspect. And then it gave me another shot here, and I literally, so this is the same thing. I wanted 13.50. It touched 13.49, but that's where I had my order set at 13.50 because I thought it would pop up over it real quick and I could get filled. And so I didn't get filled, and then you can see it moved basically an entire point in what would have been my direction, right? So I took a screenshot of that just to kind of remind myself to not be so picky about entries and then take them when they're, I mean, this was the first one that's like, this is your entry. Most likely I take this entry, I cover somewhere down through here, I probably add back up through here, and maybe even twice if I stayed with it. And then this was a quick scalp on Tesla. This was a short, so this was I lost here. That's a break of my rules, though. I don't know what the hell I was doing there. It was probably a boredom trade, which I have to get better at those. And then this was NGA. Sorry, my cat is yelling at me. So NGA, I was looking for this to push up to this pre-market pivot, and it just faded right from the bell. You can see it gave this little pop here, but sorry about that. So yeah, I was looking for this to push up. It gave this little pop, but you know, that wasn't when I saw this happen. I thought it was going to push higher. Anyway, I didn't get in, and then once it was confirmed, like, okay, this thing looks like it's just going to downtrend, I just took this little scalp here short just to get something out of it. And then there's a Tesla trade here, another little scalp short, kind of the same idea. It was just fading. We got a little pushback up here toward the moving average, and I scalped out a little bit. I left some on the table there, but whatever. So those are those trades. Let me actually, there's one recently that I want to go over. Let me see if I can, I think it was this guy. Yeah, this looks like the one. So this was stock BFT. Yeah, that's good there. Ooh, can do that. Sweet. So you can see this pushed up here. I had some pivots drawn from the pre-market, and was watching level 2. This was easy to borrow, so it was kind of short biased. But basically, I wanted to show this because I think this was a decent example of, I got short here and covered some, but still had a position, and then was able to bail out some here on the way up and lower my size, and then re-add up here, and that allowed me to take profit, and this ended up being a winner. So it was a trade that initially went in my favor, you know, and I was looking for it to fade here, but when it kind of ripped back in my face here, I was able to kind of stay calm, knew that I had this other overhead pivot here to use as another entry spot. You know, size down here, took some loss on the way up, but got my average up here, and then was able to cover these. I think this was probably just a stop that I had set at the end of the session for me. So anyway, that was a good trade for me because I had to kind of work my way out of it. I'm trying to think. I think there was another one too. Yeah, this is a similar one. These are last week or early this week, I guess. Confused. Yeah, I thought that the one that I really wanted to show you was last week. I don't remember. Maybe I don't have a clip of it. Anyway, we'll go over these later too when I do a recap video. So, but anyway, that's it. You know, story is I'm doing okay. I just need to size up, and hopefully we can do that here this month. There are some good plays available. Being a little handcuffed at CMEG for borrows is not helpful, but you know, we'll figure it out. All right, guys.